Hello, I'm Allie.
I'm Deb.
Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Stilettos.
Hi, I'm Allie and I'm with Deb. Welcome back to Coffee and Stilettos. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are coming back time and time again, we so appreciate you and just hope you're enjoying all the information that we're able to provide and would love any comments or feedback so that we can continue to grow and support you. If this is the first time that you're listening, welcome. We're here to support you grow in your career and just develop self-care, self-routines that are going to work for you, as well as productivity. And today's today's a really hot topic for me. It's dealing with uncertainty in changing work environments. And both Deb and I have left our full-time career in corporate to embody life as a coach and workshop hosts so that we can help people like yourself really navigate the stress of uncertain environments. And especially since COVID, there has been a huge uproar of navigating this hybrid work environment. And what do we do now? For myself, I came from a tech industry, and a lot of the headlines are layoffs are here, mergers and acquisitions over there. And how do you handle the stress of this uncertainty in your job security? And lastly, we're going to talk about creating maybe a side hustle. How do you diversify your income? Both of us have done that, and here we are now talking to you on this beautiful podcast. So, with that, navigating the hybrid work environment, I remember back when I was in corporate, it was a cybersecurity role. And I was going to move about an hour and a half away from Toronto. And I was negotiating at that time a hybrid work environment so that I wasn't driving into Toronto every day. And it was new for the company. They only had a couple people that were off site, and the rest of the expectation was to get into work. Now, my boss, luckily, was out in Alberta. So she was all for, you can work anywhere. It's not the hours work, though, it's a productivity. So fast forward a few months into my hybrid work environment, it's COVID. Everyone now is going hybrid and offsite. Now the trend is getting people back into work. Now, how do we navigate that? And I personally feel it's a beautiful, delicate dance because for myself, as a solopreneur, as a coach, love this element where I get to work with Deb, though I really miss being in person in workshops or talking to colleagues and having the best of both worlds, being able to work at home and as well as be in the work environment. So Deb, I'm curious, how have you navigated working from home or as your corporate leadership, the stress of managing, okay, we were work from home 100%, now we're going back and this beautiful transition that we have going on right now.
Yeah, it's not an easy transition, and it might, you think of working from home and it's like, oh my gosh, I can, work in my pajamas if I want to. And so there are pluses sometimes, but we're meant for connection, right? Like we are meant to connect with people. And when you just shut down connection, I come from the bus business, so a lot of bus companies were completely shut down unless they were doing, home to school or had some other types of business. But really, we weren't traveling during COVID. So for a lot of those people, they instantly lost their jobs, or the office staff was starting to work from home. But like you say, that connection with people is sometimes an outlet. So when you cut that off and either force people who may be living in a toxic living environment, in a toxic household environment, to cut off that connection, and really force them to work from home, that's challenging, especially if you are in a toxic environment. And even if you're not in a toxic environment, it's still very difficult to work from home when you have all the distractions. Maybe you have kids, maybe you have pets, that's been challenging. There's been lots of times when when we're recording and, my son will walk in, or trying to homeschool, do your work and still, connect with people. Zoom's been great. I think we've navigated some things that way. I used to have Zoom chats with my family. We'd also grab a tea or a drink or whatever and just connect that way. But for people who are on their own, and I'm on my own a lot, sometimes that just doesn't cut it. So it's really trying to find that delicate balance of time management so that you can get your work done, not be distracted by all the maybe household chores, laundry, cooking, taxi driving my son around, all those things. So it's really, for me, it was time management, really carving out chunks for my mental health, which is our self-care rituals that I do every day. Time blocking when I'm going to work and when I'm going to give myself space. And then time blocking, those other household chores. And so it's not, the laundry is not going to distract my full day, because all those, you look around and it's like, oh, I should be cleaning that, or I could be cleaning that. So for me, it was a delicate balance of, really, for me, time management.
Yeah, I'd love to just add to that. It's knowing how much connection you need too.
Yeah,
Because there's bonuses of, okay, I'm just going to have this silent time at work and create this flow strategy. Whereas in the older environments, it was like people around you all the time. And sometimes you would take work home so that you would have that time to yourself to finish something. So asking yourself, what work would I prefer to do with people? Or how much time do I need just by myself to do that deep flow work? And what does connection mean? Connection with colleagues, connection with partnerships, networking events. Because I get antsy. It's like, okay, I haven't gone to a networking event in a month or two. So I sign up for a few. And then, okay, two in 1 week, sometimes a little bit much, just with different things. So it's again that delicate dance of, how much people time do I need? How much alone
sure.
time, family time? And again, managing it, though, taking into consideration that it's very personal, and asking your employer, or if you're a solopreneur, thinking what's going to make me the most efficient so that I don't feel like I'm working all the time.
Yeah, it's having that shut off too, right? When you are working from home, or when your business is run from home, it's easy to think that you could be working 24 hours, but really, yeah, like you say, the delicate balance of taking that time away too, and really filling up your cup so that you're good for everybody.
Mm-hmm. So, coping with layoffs and job insecurity, I've, again, coming from tech, the layoffs, we're cutting half of this, and I don't even think it's a performance thing at this point. So numbs, it is, from my experience in corporate, a numbers game.
Mm-hmm.
And you've
Sure.
been part of acquisitions, mergers. I have been on the other side of acquisitions and mergers quite a few times. So how do you want to support people with stress and this huge insecurity?
Yeah, when we were acquired by another bus company, I think for me, the lack of communication really shone through. And, that's stressful. It's not only stressful as me as a leader and a manager, but it's stressful that I didn't have the answers to give to my team. And that causes a lot of stress. So when you're going through change in the workplace, I think open communication is absolutely pinnacle for navigating it, and being really honest about what's happening, your fears around it, that open communication with management. That's something I didn't have. And I felt really badly for my team, because they were asking a lot of questions that I didn't have the answers to. So open communication, number one for me, 100%.
And I would add to open communication, like, I love that you said that, especially as a leader, because I've been on a managerial side and more of like the employee side. And sometimes it just feels like, why am I even bothering? Because you don't know up from down. The work that you're doing is no longer required. And now you need these other things. So it causes a lot of stress. And for job security specifically, I think in this day and age, having your own personal brand and your own career portfolio is really important. And understanding, like everyone is worthy, just understanding your own worth so that when you are speaking or you're looking for a job or you're just navigating the career like the career journey, you understand what your strengths are, what kind of work environment you want so that you can continuously navigate it. And we aren't 30, 40 years ago where we would spend a lifetime with a company. This is going to be a constant ongoing journey for yourself. So I would like to toy with the idea of maybe there isn't job security, and having the financial awareness of, do you have savings, and how much money are you making, how much money are you spending. The budgeting is going to help support understand, if there was layoffs or if you needed to leave or take a break from work or whatever that looks like. You understand your own financial position. And both Deb and I have done it. We've gone from, again, corporate careers, starting side hustles, into solopreneurship. Each of those take their own financial tools. So, how did you diversify your income in order to support maybe just this job insecurity or wanting to leave the corporate so that you wouldn't have to look at layoffs maybe the same way, or that merger and acquisition?
Yeah, I don't know if I actually had it all figured out when, when it first all happened, but I do have a wonderful financial advisor. And I would say I don't know the ins and outs of investing. And that's why I have a really great advisor, because I don't have all the answers. And she really can lead me to look at things a bit differently. She manages my whole portfolio. So when it comes to that sort of thing, it's having conversations. If you don't have the answers, it's finding people that can help you along the way. And maybe if you don't have, the portfolio that Allie's talking about, finding resources that can help you build it. I also think, you talk about maybe there is no security. I agree. Everybody's replaceable. You might think that you are so secure in your job, and I'm going to tell you, you're not.
Mhm.
So I think it's being the best at what you want to be. So like I'm always on this journey of continuous growth and learning and wanting to be the best in my field. So whatever your job is or whatever your service is, being the best that you can be, so that should something happen, you have all the resources and skills already to move on to something else, whether it's the same or not. I also would like to say that, sometimes, those situations where we're laid off and you think it's the absolutely worst thing that could ever happen to you turns into the best thing. Maybe it forces you to reinvent yourself, recreate yourself, find your passion, work towards your passion, all those things. It doesn't have to necessarily be the end of the world. It can be an opportunity. And so sometimes when you're in it, it doesn't seem like it can be a positive thing, but really the way that we perceive anything is how we think about it.
Oh, I love that, because especially I have watched a few people be really miserable in their jobs and then be so upset that they complained, and got the layoff package, and they're in shock. It's like, we didn't really love this anyway, and what an opportunity, right? And like you said, like I have a few friends that were like top in their class for their organizations and be part of layoffs. So whichever way it is, I'm not taking it personally. And if you're exploring some side hustles, think about what could you talk about endlessly? What's your passion? What are you curious about? Because I guarantee you have information that you could share with someone.
Mhm.
Like I could talk about human design and the flow of your energy all day, every day. And I've created a part of my coaching practice. Deb really enjoys stress management. Her hypnotherapy is so incredible to help manage and alleviate that in such beautiful ways. And that came from us living our lives, creating our brands, and just giving it a shot. So if you're concerned about finances, definitely talk to a financial advisor. And if you don't know a great one, ask around to your friends and family, someone who knows finance. I would not suggest go to someone that's broke and that doesn't have money. I would suggest you go to someone in your friend circle or someone that you know that has more of that lifestyle that you want. And you can make some extra money by the knowledge that you have. And I guarantee you, you have something that a lot of people need. And there's so many ways to explore, simple and easy ways to explore side hustles. Because again, that whole job security in the 21st century is very different. And I think it's going to continuously evolve over the next decade and two, especially with technology. Is just my woohoo futuristic vibe I got today.
Yeah, navigating change in the workplace, it isn't always easy, but there's definitely being adaptable, navigating change. Change is always going to be there. So how you look at it, how you view it, how you perceive it, and managing your self-care rituals as well as you're going through it is incredibly important. Mind, body, soul. So we hope that you've enjoyed this episode of Coffee and Stilettos. Next week, we're going to be talking about productivity. Oh my goodness, I can't even talk. Productivity tips for career-driven women. That's a mouthful. Make sure you check us out. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your loved ones. I hope you have an amazing weekend. Take care, everyone. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please share with your friends and rate and recommend on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. There will be links to more great resources in the description.